In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Ouya box. And basically what this little box is, it's a box you hook up to your TV, and it allows you to play games like Android games or mobile games straight on your TV. This box comes in right at $99 if you'd like to purchase one of these boxes. However, they do only have one model of this box, which comes at $99. Take it or leave it. So anyway, now I'm going to talk about the specifications in the box and some of the ports on the box. So anyway, here's the box and here's what it looks like. It is a fairly small box. It weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. It is a little bit heavy, but you're going to be keeping it next to your TV anyway. So it is like a brushed aluminum, and it is a silver and black color, and it is most of it is a matte finish. I don't know if you can see on the box. On this side it does say Ouya on there, O-U-Y-A. Try to get a little bit closer. There it is. It does say Ouya on that side. Then on this side it is flesh. There's nothing on this side either. And then moving to the bottom of the Ouya box, you do got a fan that does kick on. And you got 4 little feet, so when you put it on the table, like this, it'll be up a little. It'll be up instead of being flush with the table. It'll be up a little bit so that the fan can kick on. Now, the Ouya box does make more noise than the Nintendo Wii, but it makes less noise than the Xbox 360. Somewhere around that vicinity of noise. So it isn't the quietest thing, but it isn't the loudest thing either. So it is fairly quiet. The fan usually only kicks on when you're playing a 3D game or any game mostly. When you're just browsing the internet, the fan won't really need to kick on. It usually just kicks on when you're playing a game. Now for the tech specs of this box. This box is running a 1-year-old processor. It is running the NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor, not the Tegra 4. They did say, however, they're going to be updating this box every year for $99. You will have to pay another $99 every year, but they're said to make the processor better, so next year they'll probably have a Tegra 4 in the box. Now the only thing about that is I don't really think they're going to be making more boxes, just because by the time they make the Tegra 4 box, the PS4 and the Xbox One will already be out, so it'll be hard to justify them making another box anyway. It does have internal memory, so you can store your games. This box, you cannot put any CDs or anything into it, or any chips into it. It gets all its games on a store, and it stores them into the internal memory. The internal memory is only 8 gigs. I think when you boot it up, you're only left with 5 gigs of storage on this box. But you can add hard drives and USB sticks on the USB port. I'll explain that later. And this box, like I said, is running Android. It is running 4.1.2 or 4.1.1. I'm not quite sure, but it is running Jelly Bean. But it really doesn't matter what Android operating system it's running, because this box has a heavy overskin over the actual Android, so you can't even use none of the Android features anyway. You see a heavy overskin when you go to turn on anyway, so you really can't use any of the Android Jelly Bean features, or any Android features really. You're just playing the games basically. And this does have a Wi-Fi, A, B, G, and N in the box, so any Wi-Fi you have is capable with this box. You don't have to plug it straight into the modem. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you around the box and show you some of the ports and stuff. On the front of the device, you do have a little on-off button. This button does light up right here. When you have it turned on, it has a little U in the window indicating it's on, which is pretty cool. And this is just a clickable button. On the top of the device, you also have these little torque screws, I think, right here. You can actually take the box apart if you want to tinker with the box. The company who actually made this box, they actually want you to tinker around this box. This is kind of like an experimental box where you can do whatever you want. They really don't care if you hack it or anything. You can do whatever you want. So if you'd like to open it up and actually like change the processor or change how much memory you have, you can if you know what you're doing. But for the most part, most people don't know how to do it, so you won't really need to really open it for real, because it works as it is. Now in the top is a glossy finish, so you can get fingerprints on there. But for the most part, the box is mostly a matte finish. Now moving on to this side, these are where all your ports are. I'll go ahead and talk about the ports on this box. So right at top, you do have your standard plug. It does just plug into the wall. You do have a DC cord. It just plugs straight into the wall. And that's where you get your power for this box. It isn't battery operated or anything. Over here you have an Ethernet cord if you want to plug it straight into the modem if you want faster connections and stuff, or if you don't have Wi-Fi. But like I said, this box does have Wi-Fi, so you really don't need the Ethernet port unless you don't have internet or if you just want to make it faster. Over here you have a micro USB port, so you can plug this box into the computer. I'll explain why you can do that later. And then over here you have a HDMI cable because you have to plug this into the TV. It is no AV out, so if you have a standard def TV, you won't be able to use this box. This box does support 720p and 1080p, and the the HDMI cord is included in the box, which is really nice because most companies, even the 360, didn't come with an HDMI cable in the box. So I do give them props for giving an HDMI cable in the box free. It is kind of short, but I'm still glad they gave you one at all. And then over here you have a USB port. It's a USB port 2.0. What that port does, it allows you to plug in extra controllers, like if you have an Xbox 360 controller, PS3 controller, computer controller, or any kind of a USB controller, you're good to go with that. Now you can also plug in extra memory on the USB port, like flash drives and thumb drives and hard drives. I'm not sure if it supports it yet, but they said in the future it's supposed to support it. You can just go ahead and plug one in and see what happens. I actually haven't tried it yet, so I don't know what happens when you plug in a USB or a hard drive. But that's what it's used for later in the future if you want to upgrade the memory to this box. And those are all the ports on this box. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the controller. The controller that comes in the box. So here's the controller that comes into the box. I do have a video on my channel showing you the differences between the Xbox 360 controller and the Ouya controller. You can go ahead and check that out if you go to my channel. You can find that video. So here's what the controller looks like. It does come in the box. This controller separately is like $39 or $49, somewhere around there. So it is a very expensive controller. So I suggest if you have more people that want to play this box, just use a 360 controller, a PS3 controller, or a Wii controller. Controllers that are Bluetooth will also work with this the Ouya box. You don't actually need USB, so if you have a Wii controller or a PS3 controller, you're good to go with that. So I suggest don't buy more controllers because they're too expensive for what they are. I'm going to go ahead and show you it. Now here's what the controller looks like. It is a matte finish again. It does feel, I would have to say, I guess nice in the hands for what I like. It doesn't really bother me. A lot of people have been having complaints about this controller. It's too big, too long and whatnot. I really don't find it too bad in the hands. Of course, it isn't better than the Xbox 360 controller or even the PS3 controller. Now this controller does look mostly like the Xbox 360 controller with the analog sticks vertical from each other and the D-pad right there. Now this controller does have a PS4 function on it. It does have a pad in the middle. You can move around and it'll bring up a cursor on the screen. You just move your hand in the middle and it'll bring a cursor up on the screen. Now the only thing I have with that is that little touchpad in the middle of the screen, middle of the controller. It doesn't really work because for the most part you really don't use it. You only use it on the internet browser and whatnot, because most games aren't compatible with the touchpad. And the second thing is, with the touchpad, it's not a really good touchpad, because when you use it on the screen, it is kind of clunky and laggy. So this is a good attempt at a new idea. Probably the PS4 will be way better in terms of a touchpad, but this is just the first attempt at a touchpad, and it really kind of fails on that. And on the left side, you got the buttons just like the Xbox 360 controller, and they are mapped out like the Ouya name. It's pretty cool. Ouya, Ouya, which is pretty cool if you see it on the right side. Then it has a button in the middle, like a home button. It takes you back to menus. And then you do have a D-pad. The D-pad is a combination of the Xbox 360 controller and the PS3 controller. So it is kind of mushy, but it's just, I guess, okay. And then going to the back, you have 2 buttons on top and 2 buttons on the bottom. I don't know if you can hear this on camera, but they do kind of squeak, the buttons in the back. I don't know if you can hear that, but they do kind of squeak. Now, the only thing I really have complaints with this controller is, for me, it does feel nice in the hands. The only thing I really have problems with this controller is the D-pad is just kind of iffy, just okay, I guess. And then the buttons on the back, the big buttons right here, are really mushy. So so they're pretty much not really good. These buttons on top are really good, but the very back buttons are a little mushy. I can't really say this is a good controller or a bad controller. I say if someone has this, like your friend or you know somebody who has this Ouya box, I say go to their house, try out the controller and see if you like it. But it really doesn't matter if you like the controller or not, because I told you this Ouya box can use other controllers, so it doesn't really matter if you don't like the controller or not. And this controller is a Bluetooth controller, so it does connect to this wirelessly through Bluetooth. Now you're wondering, this controller is Bluetooth, will it connect to an Android device like a phone or a tablet? I did try it on 2 of my phones and it did not work for some reason. Even though it is a Bluetooth controller, it did not pair with my Android devices, and they're both Jelly Bean also, so I don't know what was the problem there. It may work on your Android device, but just go ahead and check. But I really wouldn't recommend getting this anyway, just to use it on a regular Android device, because it's not that good anyway. I suggest you go with the Moga controller or something else, which will be way better anyway. And this does take 2 AA batteries. They go in each side of them. These just pop open, because as you can see, there's no battery pack on the back of this device. Like a 360 controller, there's no battery pack. So the 2 handles just come up, you just take them out, and these like little face plates come off. The 2 batteries are laying in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about, should you buy this box. Now the question is, should you buy this box or should you not buy this box? Really, if you own an Android device or even an iPad or any Apple device, any mobile device really that's a high-end device or a smartphone or a tablet, I say this is a no-go. I'll explain this in a second. Now this box does have a store on it, and that's where you get all your games on it. The thing I have with the game store on this box is the games that they're producing are independent developers, but the thing is, most of them are not even good high-end quality games. Most games on this box you'll probably play 4 to 5 minutes and then get really bored. Now none of the games on this box cost money. You have to be able to try them before you buy them. So a lot of the games on all the games on here, you can't buy them unless you try them. That's the motive of the box: buy before you try before you buy. So you can't be buying games at random until you tried them. The lowest game I've seen on here is 99 cents, all the way up to the highest game, which was being I don't really remember, Tower Castle, or I don't really remember what the name was, but it was like $14.99 or $13.99, which is too expensive for a game on the Ouya box because they're mostly mobile games. And another downside to this box is most games on this games are low budget games. If you have like an Android device or even an Apple device, I say don't even get this anyway, because they don't even have top-notch games like the big blockbuster games on Android or Apple devices or iOS devices, because they're missing Asphalt series, they're missing Modern Combat, they don't have Need for Speed, Dead Trigger, Grand Theft Auto. They don't have a lot of the big blockbuster games that Android has anyway, so why would you really want this device? So for the most part, you can just get a cheap Android device, maybe $99, or even maybe $200, even the first Nexus 7, and you can just plug it into a TV with a cable and play it on a HD TV anyway. So I suggest don't buy this if you have a smartphone or a tablet. Just keep it and save your $99 for the PS3, the PS4 or the Xbox One coming out later on this year. You'll be much more happier with your purchase. Now, besides playing the games in the store, this box can play APKs. You can sideload applications. So any app in the Google Play Store can be sideloaded to this box. But that does not mean it'll work on this little Ouya box. A lot of the games don't work. A lot of the applications don't work. So it really just depends on what application will and won't. So just try apps at random from the Google Play Store or a game on the Google Play Store. You just got to try at random to see if it works on this box. I will mention some games right now that will work on this box. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 edition will work on this box. Grand Theft Auto 3 will work on this box. Dead Trigger will work on this box, but it takes some kind of like modifications. But you can get those applications to run on this box if you want to tinker around. There's some other applications that will work on here. You just got to try them at random. So overall, this box is a no-go. And I do have some other complaints with this box. I'll go ahead and sum it up right now. Now, this box did have about 3 to 4 firmware updates or software updates, and they still haven't fixed some of the issues. The main issue I have with this box is when you go to the store where all the games are to download the games, sometimes it just will not load the store. It'll keep like loading way too long, and I do have good internet at my house. And I'm not the only person to complain about this. A lot of people have been complaining about this, that the Wi-Fi in this box is very, very crappy, that it won't even connect to the store. Sometimes it takes 4 to 5 minutes just to connect to the store, which is ridiculous. And they've already had like 3 or 4 firmware updates, and none of them have been fixing the issue that people have been complaining about, the bad Wi-Fi. Now, besides playing Android games, this box will play emulators like Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis, and all that stuff. So if you're a retro gamer and you like retro gaming, you can play it on this box. But the thing is, though, an Android smartphone or an Android tablet will also play emulators. That's the thing. So I really can't justify the price for $99 until more better games come out on this. It's really about the game quality on this box, and the game quality is disappointing. The only high-end game on this box is Shadow Gun. If you know what Shadow Gun is, it's a ripoff of Gears of War series, and even on this box, it's a little bit clunky. So even so, the games aren't up to par. They're not big blockbuster games. You'll get bored real fast and anything. So do not buy this box. I suggest don't buy this box. It's not good at $99. It's a fail pretty much. But I'm just going to keep my box and just tinker around with it since I already got it. But anyway, don't buy this box anyway. Peace out. I'll see you guys later in my next review. I'm out.